Hi, welcome back to the studio. The pattern I'm gonna show you now is the Get Gel Curl. Uh, and we're going to learn about some tools that you haven't seen before, and we're going to use some that we've already used. The new ones that I want to show you, and that as a marbler you should have in your repertoire because they're extremely useful, are these simple, we call them freeform combs. This is, the pins are just 3 inches apart. They're not very thick. They're a little, we like to have them delicate. That's what I'm saying. And this is the same kind of thing, and it's 2 inches, and it allows you to work on a pattern that you've already made and add some decorate, special swirls to it. We're going to use one of these today, so I highly recommend having these in your studio. Now, we'll go back to what we've been talking to you about over and over again. We're working with our surface tension. You have to clean off your bath. Remove that surface tension. And I'm going to put my paints on the ribbon method. This time I'm going to do it with a one base color. I'm going to use the black as the base color. Ribbon down we call the ribbon method, half a ribbon method, a ribbon of color right down the middle. And we wait a little bit, or long, depending on how long it takes, and you can see it kind of move out. Now, when I use just one color, I only use 3 stripes of color, and I'll tell you why. As soon as I'm going to go right inside this spreading color. The reason I only do 3 stripes when I'm doing one base color is that if I put 5 stripes here, there'd be too much paint, too much of the black, and there wouldn't be room for the other colors. The black is covering the whole surface of the tank. It's moving to the side. It's pushing that little surface tension here on the edge. I'm going to go in with the paper right on the edge of that spreading black paint, and I'm going to let the paper drift to the edge again, all the way to the edge. Once I've got it to the edge, I'll take that paper out. Completely black paint there. And I'm doing it also on the side, right to the edge of the paint. Let it drift over. If you put it on the edge and pull it over, you're going to break the film, and you'll lose the coverage, so gently. Okay, now we're ready for some colors. Again, don't forget, every color needs to be stirred and the pipette cleaned out, and then get some fresh paint. So this is a nice maroon that I made. One of the things I haven't really talked to you about so much is that if I have colors that I like and that I know work well, and I can mix them together for new colors, I know they're going to work because you have 2 colors that work already. So I make a lot of combinations. Very careful not to get bubbles on this bath. You know, if I let go of the eyedropper bulb and then squeezed again, I would have caught air in, and when I squeezed again, you get a bubble. You will get bubbles, I guarantee. You're going to get bubbles, and you'll just have to learn how to kind of pop them and get rid of them. But if you're careful with the eyedropper, it will avoid most of the bubbles. Okay, let's see. Now, What color, what color? Okay. Maybe this. Yeah. A little bit of. Usually I like to think ahead, but sometimes I get there and say, I want to do something else. How about a little of this one here? A little bit. If a color tends to expand too much, you can kind of shake the eyedropper just a little and you get smaller drops. That's what I just did with that green. I think we're done. Okay. So we're going to the Get-Gel pattern that I showed you before, but let's review it. This is what we call our Get-Gel comb. The tines are 2 inches apart. The notches are set so that when we use the notch correctly, it just divides the space to 1 inch, and exactly. So I'm going to put it here on the side, and when I pull it over, get nice straight lines, and I shift it, and now I'm going to go right in between and shift. I'm coming down that first line exactly. Shift, back, shift. You do not want to wobble in that space. If you wobble in that space, it will spoil your pattern. And you'll know right away. The pattern, the lines won't be nice and straight. And it'll be because you've shifted. You also need to make sure you keep the comb nice and parallel. If you kind of get it going this way, it will throw the pattern off. So nice and straight. See how nicely that combs out. Nice and straight. Can't do that with a stylus. Okay. All right, so that's half a Get-Gel. Now we're going to do the full Get-Gel. Full Get-Gel, you come with our inside notch here, and we're pulling straight down. That's a lovely pattern in itself. It's called the Cascade. You can stop and take that pattern if you like, but we're going to go and do the full Get-Gel. And that, when we do that, we only do it 1 time down, 1 time back. The first one, when we're doing the other way, we do what we call the weaving of the colors. Okay, now to do the Get-Gel curl, depending on how close you want the swirls, which comb you use. This one's the 2 inch, this is the 3 inch. Now, the snail, I call them the snail is trickier than you think. I go in, and then I go around and around into the center and then out. In, around and around, into the center and out. Around, into the center and out. Around, into the center and out. And I suppose I did it with a little one. What would that look like? Oh, that's sweet. What if I do little tiny ones? See, you do have a lot of leeway with these. And each person who does them, their snails, their curls will all look different. You just want to try to be consistent, okay? I'm totally inconsistent because I did several different types, but I wanted to show you that using the same tools, you can get a lot of different looks, okay? So, let me take my allumed paper. Make sure when you take your alum paper, you see the X. Because remember, the X is the side that does not have the alum. So if you see the X, it means your other side has the alum. I use my left hand, I put it in, hold it, and you hold it, don't let go, all the way down. Okay, basically when you do that, you're chasing the air out. You take your time. Okay. Okay, there's a bevy of snails, from large to small. Again, the paint on the paper is still a little fragile. It would be easy for me to smear it. I don't touch it, and I don't touch it with this. Rinsing it is just to get the carrageenan off and any little extra paint that may have not adhered. Okay?